He came out of the hotel, saw Jean come out of the tiny funeral parlour, and noticed she carried several books. He met her in the middle of the street. "So, what are those?" She looked at the books in her hands. "I was trying to estimate something." "What?" She nodded at the tiny library next to the hotel. "Shelf height. I have some enormous books." He looked at the library. "But that's not open. It's never been, has it?" "No, there were those preparing it, but they're no longer with us." She hung her head. He bent down to catch her eye. "I understand." She straightened. "Do you?" "Yes, here. Let me help you." He took the books and carried them across the street. "So you are opening the library? I could do with a good book." He looked at the books in his hands. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, The Vanished Diamond, The Merry Adventures of Robin Hood. These look good. Mind if I check one out?" She sighed. "I was hoping to sell them." "Oh, I see." He peeked at the titles again. "How much?" Her eyes rounded. You want to buy them?" "If they're for sale, yes." He studied her. Was she confused? "Jean, is everything all right?" She smiled. "Yes, I just didn't expect—" "To make a sale?" She hung her head again. "I need the money." He saw red creep into her cheeks, and his heart went out to her. He glimpsed the tiny funeral parlour across the street. "Your place is so small. Do you own it?" "Yes." He nodded in understanding. "I don't suppose you've had much business since—" He shrugged. "No, I haven't." She headed for the library. He hurried after her. "So you are looking for other sources of income?" "Yes." She went onto the porch and peeked through the windows. He did too. There were a few shelves, but that was it. He spied some small stacks of books, probably donated by the townspeople. Her endeavour would not bring her much, poor thing. "Can Apple Blossom support a library?" "I'm not sure. When we built it, we hadn't got that far. My father and a few others, including Alma's pa, thought to make it a free library. With donations, we could buy new books for it a few times a year." "I see. But you'd like to turn it into a bookstore instead?" She nodded, but kept quiet. It had to be embarrassing to admit she needed the money. "Aren't there other things you can do?" Her eyes met his as she shrugged. "I can cook, but slaving over a hot stove all day doesn't appeal to me either." "What about only part of the day?" She glanced at the library window and back. "What do you mean?" "You have something few do, Jean. Time. While you don't have funerals to take care of, you can work at so many things in between. Yes, there is this library, but if Sarah Crawford sells her place and buys the old millinery shop, there's talk of turning it into a bakery. You could work with her. I've heard it mentioned." "Are you sure?" He saw the hopefulness in her eyes.